So let us discuss about multi-threaded programming. Up to now we have studied so many programs. All these programs is having only one thread and we call that thread as main thread. So why this multi-threaded programming has been introduced? For example, let us assume that your main thread is waiting for some input or output operation. Your main thread cannot continue its execution until the desired input or output is provided to the program, right? In other words, your main thread will halt its execution until the desired input is provided to the main thread. So that's why the Java has introduced multi-threaded programming. That is, a single program will be divided into multiple parts and we call each part as a thread. For example, let us assume that your main thread is waiting for some input-output operation. So when the main thread is waiting for input-output operation, the control immediately moves to the next thread which is ready to execute. If the next thread also is waiting for some input-output operation, then the control moves to the next thread. So thereby what I can do, I can maximize the CPU utilization, right? So that's why this multi-threaded programming has been introduced in the Java. In order to summarize, when a particular thread is waiting for some input-output operation, that particular thread is suspended and control immediately jumps to the another thread which is ready to run, right? Yeah. As I said, when we run the program, the main thread will start executing. So now let us see how we can obtain reference to this main thread. So why we need to obtain reference to this main thread? So these are two important points. In other words, these are two important reasons why we need to obtain reference to the main thread. Because from the main thread, we can create several child threads. And not only that, the main thread should be the last thread to finish its execution if we have several child threads. So now, let us see how we can obtain a reference to a main thread. So let us discuss about how to obtain reference to the main thread. In order to obtain reference to the main thread, we need to call a method called current thread, right? This current thread is of type static. Anything which is of type static can be called with respect to class name. The method current thread belongs to a class called thread. So that's why we can call thread.current thread. So this thread.current thread is going to return a reference to the main thread, right? So this reference I am trying to store in a variable called t. And what's the type of t? So let us check what is the return type of this current thread. The return type of this current thread is thread. Therefore, the type of t is thread, right? Now, so once we obtain the reference to the main thread, using this reference, we can make our main thread to sleep. In order to make our main thread to sleep, we can call a method called sleep method. And inside this sleep method, we need to specify an argument which is of type long. So now let me call the sleep method, that is t.sleep. So inside this sleep method, what I need to do, I need to pass a value and this value is with respect to milliseconds. In other words, I am making my thread t, that is my main thread, to sleep for 1000 milliseconds. In other words, I am making my main thread to sleep for 1 second. In the syntax, you see that the sleep is a method which is throwing interrupted exceptions. Since it is throwing an interrupted exception, the sleep method must be placed inside the try and catch block, right? So inside the catch block, I need to write interrupted exception followed by E, then opening brace and closing brace. Let's write system dot print ln. So let me print the description of the exception, right? Now, is it fine? So in this program, what I've done, first I've obtained the reference to the main thread, and then I'm making my main thread to sleep for 1 second, that is 1000 milliseconds, right? Since sleep is a method which is throwing interrupted exception, I need to place this sleep method inside the try and catch block. So now let me save this program and let me run. So Java C. You see that I'm not getting any output because inside the program I have not written any system.out.println. So now, in order to make little bit quite interactive, inside the try block, let me write a for loop for int I equal to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus. Right, so right, system dot out dot print ln got it. So now what I've done, I've written a for loop, and then this for loop will begin from 0, it goes up to 4, right? And inside this for loop, I've written system.out.println, which is going to print the value of I. So once it prints the value of I, what I'm trying to do, I'm making my main thread to sleep for 1 second, right? If I run the program, you can see the difference. After printing the value of I for 1 second, the output will pass and again the value will be printed. So let us see this in the output. So let me run the program again. You see that the output is passing. Now let me increase the delay. Now for every 2 seconds the output will pass. You see that? Let me come before that. Let me see. You see that the output is passing for every 2 seconds. Yes. Yes. So in this program, what you are seeing, for every 2 seconds, I am making my main thread to sleep. Right? There is one more sleep method which is taking 2 arguments. The first argument will be specified in terms of milliseconds, and the second argument will be specified in terms of nanoseconds. So whenever you want to specify delay in terms of milliseconds and nanoseconds, in such a case you can go for this version of sleep method. Right? Now using set name method, what we can do, we can set name to the thread. So let us try to print. I repeat, using set name method, we can set the name to the thread. So now let us see what is the default name for this main thread. Plus T, right? So now using set name method, let me set the name to this thread, this T dot set name, and the name let me give as 1, right? Now, after setting the name, let me print the name of the thread. Is before and then after, right? So before I should have some different name. After I should have the name of the thread as 1. So let us check this by running, right? Save the program. You see that before the name of the thread is main, after the name of the thread is 1. See, after the name of the thread, we have a number called 5. This number 5 indicates the priority of this thread, right? Followed by main. This main indicates the thread main belongs to group called main, right? See, after t.setName, what's going to happen? The name of the thread has been changed from main to 1 and remaining parameters remain the same. In other words, the thread 1 belongs to a group called main thread, right? Now, finally, let us see this get name. Using get name, what we can do, we can get the name of the thread. So how we can get the name of the thread? Just you write t dot get name. So this, let me place inside this system.out.println, right? So let me make this delay as 1 second. Let me save and let me run again. You see that I got the value called 1. You see that why I'm getting the value called 1? Because I've written here t dot get name, right? I hope you understood this program. Thanks for watching. Thank you.